A very blessed day to you all beautiful people out there, and welcome to Africa in Retrospect. Today on our show, you'll be having a very special guest. And before then, I'll play our theme song. In retrospect, Ghana's voter registration exercise has triggered a political storm in which some political parties, including the governing New Patriotic Party, NPP, support the call for a new register, while others, like the opposition National Democratic Congress, NDC, are strongly against it. In the same manner, civil society groups have voiced their concern regarding the process. The Electoral Commission had earlier said it planned to wrap up the exercise by November 7th. However, the coronavirus pandemic has slowed down the process by months. But the question is, should Ghana proceed with voter registration amid the COVID-19 pandemic? With me to discuss this very special topic is Hon.Cassiel Ato Forson. He's the former Deputy Finance Minister of Ghana and incumbent MP for Ajumaku Enyan-Esian Constituency, the Central Region. Honorable.
Good morning.
Honorable.
Good afternoon. Hi.
Can you hear me, Honorable?
Good afternoon.
Yeah.
I can hear you.
Welcome to Africa in Retrospect, sir.
Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good
yes,
afternoon.
I can hear you, sir. Very well. We are so honored to have you on the show.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome,
this
sir.
afternoon.
we are so glad to have you. Sir, we would like you to tell the viewers a little about yourself, though I've introduced you briefly.
Okay. Thank you. I mean, to sum it up, as you said, my name is Hon.Cassiel Ato Forson. I'm a member of parliament representing the wonderful people of Ajumaku Enyan-Esian, the Central Region of Ghana. I'm currently the ranking member of the shadow, the Finance Committee of Parliament. My duty there is to have a legislative oversight on government's work, obviously, as long as parliamentary functions are concerned. I used to work as a former Deputy Minister of Finance. I am a fiscal economist by profession, and currently I'm still a member of parliament. I've been a member of parliament in the last 12 years. I'm still contesting again to become a member of parliament for the 4th term.
Okay.
So in summary, that is
hopefully you are going to you know your people love you
Thank
so
you.
much. Yeah. So sir, we'll go straight to the question. Is the current voters register credible? Yeah, I would like to know if it's the current voter register is credible. And so, if so, is there a need for a new one?
Okay, let me first of all start by saying there's no doubt that the voter register as we have today is credible. There's no doubt about it. In fact, the Electoral Commission herself, the commissioner herself, has come out countless occasions to say that the register is indeed credible. And the question is, if so, why are we trying to reinvent the wheel? Spend in excess of close to $1 billion Ghana cedis, a billion US dollars to compile and start the process of getting a new register. Because the entire registration process, according to what we are hearing, is going to cost about 5.7 billion Ghana cedis, which translates to about $1 billion US dollars. Okay, the activity itself may be slightly less, but you have to recognize that the activity will have to go in tandem with other activities. Certainly, you're going to deploy in times like this. You will have to have some personal protective equipment. In times like this, certainly because of what is going on, you need to deploy some agent and pay some staff apart from the equipment you're going to buy, and ensure that the process is actually done in a way that will bring credibility. But the question is, if indeed, as she herself has admitted to the fact that the register in question there's nothing wrong at all with it, but indeed it is credible, then there's no need for us to spend that kind of money. You recall and you agree with me that we are not a country that we can call ourselves rich. We're not a rich country. Yes, we are a middle income country. So $1 billion US dollars can mean a lot for us. We have a lot of infrastructure we may have to fix. We have a lot of social needs that we have to fix. I mean, times like this, we've been struggling to have enough resources to deal with a pandemic that is going on. We need to actually have money to be able to build enough hospitals and increase the bed size and bed spaces that we have. Because you agree with me, coronavirus has indeed exposed how resilient our economy is and how resilient our healthcare system is. So having $1 billion US dollars can be big boost for your finances, particularly at the time that you need to have enough money to be able to fix some of these concerns that the people are raising. I don't understand why the government doesn't seem to understand or listen and thinks that the way to go is obviously ignore us and then go ahead to do the register. We are not the only ones to say that the register is needless, but in fact, civil society organizations have joined hands with us and said to us that, look, Mr. President, Mr. Madam Commissioner in charge of the Electoral Commission of Ghana, give the opposition a hearing. What they are saying has a lot of sense in it. You have actually come out to say that indeed what you are seeing, you have no doubt that the register is credible. Why change it? This indeed let us give us some room of concern, some different thinking, that indeed this government is actually hiding behind. They have some ulterior motives, and that is why they intend to change the register for their own peripheral political gains.
Talking about ulterior motives, Your Honor, the incumbent government has been accused of trying to find a way to rig the upcoming elections. And those holding this opinion argue that the Electoral Commission used the same old register for the unit, committee, and National Assembly elections last year. And if there was a problem with it, how come they used it successfully?
Thank you. I mean, let me even take you a slide back. 3 years ago, or 3.5 years ago, approximately, the current president was elected. He was then an opposition leader. He was elected using the same voters register. He won the election at approximately 900,000 votes. Okay, people say it's up to 1 million. It's not up to 1 million. It's about 900,000. So he won the election with that, according to the Electoral Commission statistics. Then afterwards, okay, the president was obviously sworn in on the basis of the same register and the same results that was declared based on the register that was used. Fast forward, not long ago, about a year, less than a year, we had to do the local district level elections. I mean, the assembly elections. So the electoral commissioner obviously used the same register. All what he did was to decide to obviously add some what you call limited registration by ensuring that those that has actually turned 18 years are enrolled into the system. So they did some limited registration and used the same register for the purposes of the conduct of the just ended district level elections. To the extent that we elected almost 67,000 assembly members across the country. Today, we have used it to elect a president, of which we have been able to use it to have what you call the district level appointees, like the assembly members and all of that. What has changed? Nobody knows what has changed, apart from to say that, again, the government may have a hidden agenda. Because you cannot understand why a government that indeed has won an election on the back of the very register decide to change the very register that elected him. You cannot understand why this very administration apparently asked the Electoral Commission to conduct the district level elections using the very register delivered to them assembly members that are helping the district assembly to deliver local governance over a period of time. And today the government is deciding to change the register. Changing the register less than 6 months to elections, and it calls for concern. This does not only raise an eyebrow, but indeed, it actually breaks a number of protocols. The African Union Protocol on Elections and the ECOWAS, Economic Community of West Africa States Protocol on Elections, is clear that 6 months to elections, you cannot amend laws relating to elections, neither can you, as Electoral Commission or government of states, decide to change the voter register. So what has changed all of a sudden? That Kwame Nkrumah's Ghana has all of a sudden decided to depart from the norm, depart from the very protocols that we all decided to actually internalize and approve in our parliament. The very protocols that you and I agree that indeed it is the only way that we can actually ensure that there won't be any fraud election. And anytime there is an election, the winner and the loser will both accept it as and when it happens. But indeed, what they are trying to do, they are bringing some concerns that if we are not careful, we'll end up create some problems about the problems that we have.
President of Ghana, that's His Excellency J.J. Rawlings, recently stated that the Electoral Commission, which is the fulcrum of our multi-party democracy, must be supported and protected by all stakeholders to ensure a free and fair election and a peaceful society or codes. And so, sir, could the new voters registration exercise disrupt peace in case the Electoral Commission is unable to complete the process in less than 6 months and some citizens turn out to be disenfranchised?
I think it's something that gradually we get in there. And it's something that I cannot sleep over. I'm worried, one, as a Ghanaian,
yes,
and two, as a stakeholder in these elections. Ghana is known with its peaceful nature of conducting elections. It's a country that I've never seen civil war.
Yeah.
It's a country that we don't really want to see civil war. We don't want to see political unrest. We want to continue with a path of stability and growth, because that is the only way that we can grow as a country. And I was saying while I was driving home, I said to someone that democracy, regardless, must be preserved and ensure that we have a stable democracy. But unfortunately, the acts and activities of this administration is sending us in the path that if we are not careful, Ghana will start seeing some unrest that we don't want it to happen. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this for a number of reasons. Reason number one, you have a very register that elected you as president. You have a very register that not long ago you have used it to conduct a district level election. Yes, we agree that this very government, whilst in opposition, then said the register should be changed. The then electoral commissioner said, certainly no, that is not the position of the electoral commission. We used it, and obviously you delivered a victory for yourself. But the same register delivered to you a victory. The electoral commissioner hasn't changed. You see, the electoral commissioner's position was the same. Only until this administration, when they took office, decided to change the electoral commissioner. So they sacked the previous electoral commissioner, again with the same ulterior motive. So you sack him, appoint a new electoral commissioner, very close to your political party's ideology. Bring the electoral commissioner, and the electoral commissioner only decides to bring in a new register. A new register, not earlier. See, if indeed you had wanted to do a new register, you could have done it at the time that there was virtually no political tensions, isn't it? You could have done it maybe in the year 2017 or 2018. Why do you wait until you have 5 months to elections and you decide to do a new register? Okay, this in itself breaches a number of protocols, as I've said earlier. So if it's going to breach a number of protocols, in itself gives room for concern. Not only concerns, but again, the manner in which it is done. And the manner includes the fact that you are saying that, one, no one can register unless the means of identification is two: passport and national identification card. Let me give you an example. In my constituency, the people with passports, excuse my French, will not be more than 2,000 people. Okay, a constituency with about 70,000 voters, and if you have even 5,000 people with passport, it is not fair representation. So certainly you cannot use passport for that purpose. The second point, recently the government decided to do the national identification card. My constituency has not registered more than 20,000 individuals through the national identification scheme. So you have 20,000 people that have registered and they possibly may have had a card. Others may not have had card. And you are saying that the passport and the national identification card should be the only way that you can register for the new register, or should be the only way that the only thing you can show as an identification to register. What has changed? I mean, our difficulty here is that in the past, we have always used birth certificate, one, and then the existing voter identification card. So it looks as if the government's ideology, the government's position is deliberately to suppress votes from the opposition strongholds. Because clearly, what we are seeing is that we are seeing a pattern where the government has indeed registered a chunk of people in their stronghold, the majority stronghold. Whereas the opposition stronghold, we are seeing a trend that people that are supposed to register through the Ghana card system are not being given the opportunity to register. And even those that have even registered, they do not even have the Ghana card to use as an identification. So you register and they said the card is not available. We are now going to print the card and give it to you. So that in itself creates some major concerns. And some of these concerns that we keep talking about, if not addressed, can obviously affect the peace that we all have as a country. I do not wish that. I'm a Ghanaian first. I want this country to be successful in the path of peace, because only through peace that we can have socioeconomic development. But it's kind of seed that this administration is actually sowing. If we are not careful, we are going to get there. And I don't think that is what we all want. Unfortunately, our current president inherited a country. Fortunately, he inherited a country that is very peaceful and stable. Today, he is ending in a way that if care is not taken, Ghana will not be the same as he inherited. And that is what we are all cautioning this administration to be careful. They should not, and they shouldn't mess this country up. We have only one Ghana. We do not have two Ghana. We want this country to be in peace and to be in one piece. They should not, because of their own personal interests, decide to run down this country because somebody wants to stay in power. Look, you will win elections if the people think you are the right person to win elections. Looks as if they are so scared of their own shadows to the extent that going into elections, they want to find a way to clear certain people off the voter register and to create a voter register that has very few of their majority of their supporters and very few of the opposition supporters on, so that in any day, any election, they can win. That is the whole idea. I am very worried. I am very worried with the way this country is going. The timing is bad, and if we are not careful, 5 months to elections, you want to create a new voter register. My sister, that won't be good for this country. It's not the way we want to run the affairs of this country. We want Ghana to be one country. We do not want divisions. We do not want things that can, what do you call it, things that can create tensions. Because it's a fact, as we speak, political tensions are really high in our country. Really, really, really high in this country. What we need to do is to ensure that, please, let us, as a matter of urgency, ensure that the current register stays. And apart from that, others can add. You can do limited registration to allow others to do the job. But the way we're going, I'm sorry to say, if we are not careful, there will be anarchy throughout the process of the elections.
You know, Your Honor, according to the letter EC sent to the Supreme Court as their basis for compiling a new register, the existing cards, I quote, have become fruits of a poison tree. How possible is that?
The same poisonous tree has delivered a poisonous fruit, and the fruit we see is today the president of the country. You see, so if it is indeed a poisonous tree, you want to look at what the tree actually brings. And we have in fancy, we say, what you sow is what you reap.
Yes.
If it's indeed poisonous, the fruit we had is His Excellency the President Akufo-Addo. It's a fruit of this very tree. So what is he talking about? The same Electoral Commission supervised the election that used the same register that delivered victory, a very big victory to His Excellency the President. So what are we talking about?
Yeah, because it was quite strange.
I mean, it's amazing. For me, it doesn't really make sense. It doesn't really make sense because the facts are sacred. We went into the 2016 elections with the same register. The president, as I said, had majority in parliament, 169 parliamentary seats, whereas the NDC had 100 and I think 106 parliamentary seats to make it 275. So you won majority in parliament, okay? But the same register delivered you almost 900,000 vote difference. So why do you want to change it? It is only when you fail as a government and you are very scared of the elections and you think that the very people that voted for you may change their mind. And so what you can do is to ensure that you disenfranchise those people, bring on board only your supporters to ensure you can get another victory. That is the only reason why. Anything more than that, I cannot understand it. I cannot understand it. Something is certainly wrong. There is indeed an ulterior motive. There is a reason why this government wants to do this, because it doesn't add up. Apart from the fact that we are spending $1 billion for the exercise, indeed, we as a country must be wary where this country is going, because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. We have something that is active. We have something that is working. Why do you change it? Why do you change it?
That is the question.
Why do you change it? It is terrible. So if
especially at this time of COVID-19,
yes, at the time of COVID-19, the health implications as well. I've not even come there. I was going to conclude with that one because that is also a major concern. It's a major concern. At the time that Ghana, as a country, we have 11,000 people plus that have contacted the virus, you are asking us to go and queue and register. Whereas a lot of countries are observing the social protocol. I mean, social distancing protocols that you need to observe. We know that when it comes to having queues in our country, no one will observe the social distancing protocol. Let no one, lie to you that is going to be done. We are going to make sure it's going to be done. What are you talking about? This COVID is real and it's affecting every life. It's affecting all of us. So we should be careful. And let me tell you, recently, I'm sure you know of a country called Burundi. Burundi, during the time that almost half of the world, or almost everyone was on lockdown, Burundi decided to conduct an election. They did an election, successfully elected a president, and people were saying, how could Burundi do this at a time that we have a major pandemic like this? You know the results. The results is that today, the immediate past president, who is yet to hand over, has passed on, sadly, suspected of COVID-19. Wow. Yes, suspected of COVID-19. The mother of the immediate past president also passed as a result of the same virus. Today, the person who is supposed to act, the Speaker of Parliament, is also hospitalized as a result of the same COVID-19. Again, we are saying that the current, the president-elect, who's yet to be sworn in, apparently is also sick, according to what we are reading. So what is happening? And do you think we should also subject ourselves to this? We don't want our president sick. We don't want our president dead. We don't want our members of parliament and parliament opposition getting sick. We want this country to be healthy. But please, let us be mindful of ourselves and for us to understand what we stand for. As a country, we want things to move in a way that would deliver jobs, in a way that would deliver peace and tranquility. That will obviously translate into economic growth. That is all. That is all what we are asking for.
Thank you very much. Your Honor, please, I would like to take some questions. I think some people have left some questions in the comment box. Let me check the questions so that if there is any one you need to answer, you can go on with it. Yeah. Jinyami Otri, he says, the current government has since 2012 been consistently complaining of the fraud nature of this voter register. And Beatrice also says, this has been a normal routine in Ghana. Every government wants to change the voters register. But they forget that it's the same register which brought them into power. Okay, and so Gina Meotri again says, Honorable, please, you want to react to that question?
Yes.
Okay, please go on.
Okay, let me start with the fraud nature. Apparently, he said this government since 2012 has been criticizing the fraud nature of this of the current register. I beg to differ. I didn't catch the name of the person who put it out there, but let me say.
Yes, okay,
so let me say to Jinyame that if the register is indeed fraudulent, then we have delivered a fraudulent government, because the government of today is indeed a product of the so-called fraud register. And if we can all convince ourselves that this is a fraudulent register, we have a fraudulent administration ruling us, unfortunately. And it's about time that as a country, we have to depart from that kind of conversation. We need to build institutions as a country. We need to grow as a republic. Ghana isn't young. We should build enough systems that should be able to withstand time. If indeed we've spent so much money to build a register, nothing wrong for us to even clean it if you think there's something wrong with it. You can indeed clean a system. If you certainly believe that certain things are wrong with it, you can clean it. You can overhaul it. There's no reason why you should spend $1 billion to revamp. You know what $1 billion can do? We can start a railway system from Accra to Kumasi. This is a country for so many years. We've not been able to successfully link Accra and Kumasi, the two major capitals of the city, two major cities of the country. Okay, we've not been able to successfully link with the major first-class highway, yet we have money to waste away. If today we are to have a first-class highway between Accra and Kumasi, there's no reason why I cannot go to Kumasi, from Accra to Kumasi, spend 2 hours. If today we have a successful railway line between Accra and Kumasi, there's no reason why I cannot do that journey within 2.5 hours. Why do we end up wasting a lot more resources on things that we don't really need it? We have misplaced priorities, unfortunately. This is what is happening. This is what, as a country, we are going through, and we've been going through over the years. We have to depart from that. We have to be more focused. We have to know exactly where we are going. Unfortunately, this direction will not help us. And so we do not need to play politics with some of these concerns. If we are to really determine that we want to grow, we want to develop, we want to build ourselves, this is not the way we have to go. Else, we are putting ourselves for destruction. That is what is happening. Yes, on the case of the same same issue, every government wanting to change register and all of that. Let me say, that is not the way the NDC believes. We believe in building institutions. We believe in ensuring that things are being done in a better manner. We know that as a country, we can do better. And so, yes, we may not be perfect, but certainly what this administration is doing, we won't do that. We won't do that because they are actually setting the country up for destruction. 5 months to elections. Political tensions are high. Look at what you're doing, setting the country up for destruction. You inherited a country that is very peaceful and stable. Today, based on what you are doing, obviously the opposition leader has already come out to say that, look, we in the NDC, we are determined to do whatever it takes to be able to ensure that this country will have peaceful transition. Or he said that he guarantees Ghanaians peace and tranquility. But if anybody thinks, particularly the MPP, if they think that the NDC is in a position to accept a fraud election, then they should revise their notes. That is a serious statement. It is a statement that I want well-meaning Ghanaians to appreciate it. To appreciate it because where this government is taking this country to, if care is not taken, they are distracted, they are setting the country up for destruction. You cannot change a register 5 months to election. You cannot destroy the politics that we've all been able to be beneficiaries of. You've had opportunity to serve this administration, to serve this country as president. So why do you try to destroy the very fiber that puts you there? The very, very register that puts you there as the president of the republic. I don't think it makes sense for us to change the register, spend that kind of money that we could use it for something else. But unfortunately, where we are going isn't the way, isn't the best for the country. It looks like well-meaning Ghanaians must speak out. And we want people like yourselves to speak out. We believe that the way this country is going, we need to get people of this country to speak against it. And that is not the way we run administration.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, Honorable, I think maybe we can take one or two more questions before
please, you can.
Proceeding to our topic. I think Beatrice Apiachem, she says, yeah, I agree with you about the timing of this change. Is there any way the ordinary Ghanaian is going to benefit from this registration?
Look, the ordinary Ghanaian can benefit from the registration through a number of ways. The first, one of the ways that the ordinary Ghanaian will benefit from is where this register delivers an election that is not contested. Okay? So if it delivers an election that is very controversial in nature and is fraud and it brings about destruction, the ordinary Ghanaian has not benefited. I do not think that this, what you call it, new register that this government is proposing is going to deliver something good for the ordinary Ghanaian. It is actually setting the country up for destruction and bad image. In fact, bad image to the extent that all of a sudden, Ghana's name is in the international media for a very bad reason. Bad reason, a country that we've been known for democratic credentials since 1992. This Fourth Republic has been very much of a blessing to us. It has delivered to us a lot of economic gains, growth over the period. And now, someone somewhere is trying to set the Fourth Republic up for destruction. It's something that we should all speak against. I do believe that the ordinary Ghanaian will be worse off at the end of the day. And that is why we want the ordinary Ghanaian to also speak out, speak against what is going on. Because what is happening today is not the best. We are destroying the peace of this country.
Thank you very much. Ola Elijah, that's Ola Eko Gregory. He said, exactly, Honorable. If it's a fraudulent register, then it's a fraudulent government ruling us. Then it's out to be changed. So we will change it, Mr. Honorable. I don't know if you really got it, sir.
Yeah, I understand what we're talking about. So what they are saying is that if indeed we are changing the fraudulent register, we have to change the same fraudulent administration and get all of them to be done and dusted.
Okay. Okay, sir. Then we'll go to our next question and then come back to read more messages. So, Honorable, do you think that the Ghanaian, the ordinary Ghanaian, should just sit down, keep quiet, and fold his arms without saying anything, or we should all be involved in whatever is happening? We should voice out whatever is worrying us as a people, because I know one thing I've realized is that Ghanaians are so politically affiliated. For instance, if somebody belongs to NDC or MPP, whatever the administration or party members are doing, the person doesn't want to complain. It's like this blind affiliation or support. So what do you have to say about that?
Okay, thank you. You see, we may be aligned. I am aligned. I have my political party that I support. In fact, you can call me one of the leaders. I mean, let me put it this way. I'm part of the leadership of the minority side, okay, in parliament. Okay, so I'm one of the leaders of the government, of the opposition party. I am a member of parliament. I'm the chairman of the caucus, of the parliamentary caucus for the Central Region Minority, the NDC. So I am indeed. But that doesn't stop me from saying what is good and what is bad for Ghana. As I said, I'm Ghanaian first, and I don't want this country to be distracted. I want this country to have its focus and run. I want this country to succeed because, first of all, I was born a Ghanaian before I decided to join a political party. And there is the need for all of us to realize that we are all Ghanaians first before we join NPP or probably NDC. And that is why there was the need for us to speak out when something is bad. Unfortunately, we as people of Ghana, mistakenly, anytime we support a political party, we tend not to only concentrate on the support, but we forget to shout anytime the government or the party is actually fooling about or they are not doing what they are supposed to do, unfortunately. And that is where our problems are. Nothing will stop me to say to my party that they are wrong. And nothing stops you as an individual to say to your party that you are wrong. Because it's only through that process that we can build a country that will survive over the years. We can build a country that would guarantee peace and tranquility, a country that would actually survive economic growth over the period and sustain it. Until we do that, excuse my French, we are making mistakes. And that is why I'm calling on all well-meaning Ghanaians to speak out, regardless of your political ideology or your political lineage. You should be able to speak out and say that enough is enough. What you are sending us is wrong. It doesn't matter the kind of benefits you get from them. You have to speak out. Because Ghana first. Ghana first. And that is what we all have to understand. That it is only until we realize that Ghana comes first, we are making mistakes. And that is why I'm asking everyone to speak out. But let me tell you something. On the screen, I saw another guy, Jinyame guy, putting out a question that opposition party without a running mate and manifesto in 5 months. Let me first of all tell him, it looks like as if we forget, and MPP supporters in particular, they forget that today we have 5 months to elections. The MPP do not have a flag bearer. Neither do they have a running mate. In fact, they do not have parliamentary candidates for 169 parliamentary seats. The NDC remains the only Ghanaian, the only political party in Ghana that we have a flag bearer. Okay? As we speak, we have all our parliamentary candidates in place. In fact, for his information, I just want him to know that we have a running mate. We are only waiting for the coronavirus to actually come down before we do the outdooring, because our flag bearer has said that. Let me also put it for the record that MPP, in the year 2016, they launched their manifesto 3 months to elections, not 5 months to elections. Okay, and let me also tell him that in the year 2009, 2008 elections, they announced their running mate approximately 4 months to elections. So what is he talking about? Let him go back to statistics and check all of those information. And he realize that the NDC is ahead of the game. Let me also say, the NDC has never appointed our running mate or nominated a running mate before the election year. It is always done within the 6 months to elections. So what is he talking about? Probably he doesn't know what he's talking about. And so some of these statements that comes out from the mouth of some of these MPP supporters are misguided. They do not have the facts to support it. They are lost indeed. Okay, and so we ask them that anytime they come out to make this kind of statement, they should check from their home. As I said, they do not have presidential candidates. They do not have a running mate. And as we all know, as 5 months to elections, they have not been able to fill parliamentary candidates for 169 parliamentary seats in the country. Ask them, do they have their manifesto in place? Last election, they brought their manifesto 3 months to election. So clearly, I know what I'm talking about, and I'm sure it's all propaganda and they don't know what they're talking about. That's why they pin some of this information out
there. This issue of the EC, the basis of the EC rejecting the all voters ID card and birth certificates as prerequisites for registration by only accepting passports or Ghana ID card. It's really a source of concern to many Ghanaians. You know, Ola Williams says, I think it's connected to this birth certificate and Ghana voters ID card issue. She said, I know so well that not so many people had the opportunity to do the national card, and the majority of citizens don't have the requirements the ruling NPP government is requesting for. So imagine you to the passport. Ola, I don't really understand what you wrote. Maybe he's talking about the requirements, the prerequisites for this new ID card.
And I think I understand where she's coming from.
You understand? Oh.
Let's face it. Yes, let's face it. The passport that they've made it as a prerequisite to get your name on the register. Even in advanced countries, how many people have the passport? I mean, go to America today and find out how many people, Americans, have passport. Okay, so because you only need it as a travel document, and it is only until when you want to travel, most people would not certainly like to have a passport. I mean, in this country, I do not believe that Ghanaians living in Ghana, 30% has passport. I do not believe that. In fact, you see a very small fraction of 10 to 15% that may have the passport, if not too high, the numbers that I'm given. So passport cannot be prerequisite. And let me tell you, before you go and get a passport, the source document, okay, the prerequisite for you to have a passport is for you to bring a birth certificate. So you need a birth certificate to justify your birth, who gave birth to you, and which country you come from. So it's only until you have birth certificate that you can get a passport. Now you are saying that the very birth certificate that we use to get a passport is not accepted, but the passport is accepted. What sort of law is that?
Yeah, it doesn't.
What sort of law is this? I mean, what is going on in this country? So it looks like somebody has lost the common sense. So it is not strong in law, and that is why there are multiple suits in the Supreme Court. Multiple suits. In the coming days, a lot more suits are going to come. And I believe our Supreme Court will give a verdict that will stand the test of time, a verdict that will protect the peace of this country, and a verdict that will preserve the democracy of our country. That is what we are all hoping for.
Very important.
I know the Supreme Court of Ghana, they've always stood by the country, and I believe that this time also they will stand by the Republic and ensure that peace will prevail for this country too, unfortunately.
Yeah, we pray that peace prevails. So we will take our very last question because time is fast spent, or maybe we can take 2 more questions. Then we'll see. Again, he said 5 months to elections, the opposition party will. Oh, okay. I think you've answered that question already.
I've dealt with that one.
Yeah, you've already addressed. Yeah, you have already addressed him. And Beatrice Apiacham, she says, I believe you can educate your followers or members to go out in their numbers to get themselves registered so that they are not disenfranchised.
Let me say this. I think she's raised a number of points. A couple of concerns on that one. Yes, we can educate them to get out to register. But one, getting out to risk their lives in times that there's COVID-19 all over the country. So they are going to put their lives at risk. The truth is that if I'm very much concerned about COVID-19, I'm not going to go out there, no matter the education that I receive. Okay? So certainly, if I'm very much concerned, and the truth is that if I have a 70-year-old mom or dad or grandpa, I'll be very much concerned to allow my 70-year-old parents to go out there.
Very vulnerable.
Yes, because they are very vulnerable. Okay, and if you have underlying concerns. So that is a major concern. The second concern is that even if they are ready to go out there to register, you are saying that that guy or that lady or that little one should have a passport before. He doesn't have a passport. And you are also saying that that person out there should go out there and then obviously get Ghana card. Probably the person doesn't have Ghana card. And if you don't have that, you should get someone out there to come and vouch for you. You are making the process so cumbersome for someone to be able to register, all because you want to disenfranchise the person. So you see, it's not about just getting out there to register. It's about the justice and health concerns of the whole situation. So that is not the way to do it. That is not the way to do it. Where we are going isn't the best. This is not the Ghana that President Akufo-Addo inherited. This is not the Electoral Commission that Madame Jean Mensa actually inherited. They are messing up so badly. They're destroying the fiber of our country, messing the country up, and we cannot sit down to allow this thing to happen. And that is why we are screaming and shouting at them that they should stop what they are doing. We have only one country. You cannot destroy this country because of your own personal ambitions to become a president of this republic. Yes, you've been president for 4 years. Submit yourself for elections and allow the people to decide. If the people want you to continue, continue. We wish you well. But if certainly the people think that they should change you, you should be changed. You should be changed. And it's up to the people. Allow the people to get the opportunity to elect their president and their leaders. Don't suppress votes, because that is not what we've all been doing over the years. Please. Unfortunately, the way and the rate at which this government is trying to destroy this country in a very short period of time, it's crazy. It's crazy. Nobody knows what is going on. And if we do not, as ordinary Ghanaians and citizens of this great country, stand up too, my sister, we all live to regret. We have to stand up and tell this administration enough is enough. Enough is enough. Stop what you are doing, because you are setting the country up for destruction. Submit yourself to election. If indeed you believe that you won the election by 900,000 votes or more, in fact, they are even saying they won by 1 million votes. So if indeed you believe that you won the election by 1 million votes, why can't you subject yourself to elections and allow the same people that voted for you to vote for you again or reject you or the otherwise? So you see, this is a sign of an administration that has failed. It's a sign of government that has messed up on its promises. And the only way they can succeed or stay in office is for them to suppress the votes coming from the people. Because they have disappointed the people so much that the best thing they can do is to prevent them to register and let alone to vote. So if your name is not even on the register, you cannot even wake up in the morning and say that I'm going to vote. For them, it is risky to hope on turnout. The best thing is to ensure that the people do not get the opportunity even to register at all. And that is why they are jittery and worried. But let me tell you, what I've learned about this administration, this country is simple. If the people of Ghana want to change and they say they're determined to have a change, it doesn't matter what you do. they will certainly change you. So as I've gone around the country, I know that Ghana want to change. And it doesn't matter what happens, this administration will actually go home and replan and come back another day. I do not believe that this administration has a chance to win this election. And it's showing. They are so concerned, they are so worried, and it's showing everywhere. Let them understand that they've even lost the election in advance. And so they should do what is right, because they're certainly going to lose anyway. And no matter what they do, they will go home and replan and come back again. Their time is up.
Okay. So, Honorable, with that said, do you have any final advice for the government and Ghanaians on the upcoming election?
My advice is to the President of the Republic, President Nana Addo Dankwa. You have sworn to protect the Constitution of this republic. You, as a single individual, have a singular authority and responsibility to ensure that this country remains peaceful. Whatever you do, be guided by the fact that if this country is destroyed, your name will be the one that everybody else will mention. It does not take the advice of someone. Indeed, you have to act as president. Lead by example and let your name be remembered. Because look, if we are not careful and this country is messed up, you won't be the only one to suffer. I will suffer. Everyone else will suffer. But in the end, we don't want this country to suffer. We want this country to lead, to continue leading the Africa. We are the black stars of Africa, everyone knows us. We've always led Africa with example. Ghana has become the example, the very good example that most African countries actually cite. We do not want, for once, to be cited for wrong reason. Let that not happen. We hope that the next 5 months, Ghana will be peaceful. And you also hand over a country with peace and stability to the very person that gave you a country that was peaceful and obviously stable. We don't want to go back to 200 years back or 50 years back. This is a country that we all cherish and we've all had opportunity to serve. Let's remain focused and serve this country. It doesn't matter if we go to elections today, and I believe we go to the elections today with the old register and allow every Ghanaian that is supposed to vote. And in the end, I loses. I will certainly accept it. But I cannot accept an election where you have disenfranchised my people, and the people that are supposed to vote for me, you have deliberately made it impossible for them to register and even to vote for me. You don't expect me to accept the fact that I've lost an election. But if I will go to proper elections and I win, I've won, and I lose, I lose. That's what it is. So let the president be guided that he won on the back of the same register. And so he should be given the opportunity to others to also contest the election in December, the back of the same register. If we go and he wins, bless him. If he goes and he loses, let him go home and allow someone to continue the work, just like somebody handed over power to him. Simple.
Okay, absolutely. Thank you so much, Honorable.
Thank you very much.
You know, it was so good having you today. And Elijah, he says, wow, really, you are looking good, Honorable. Nice to have you, sir. And Beatrice Apiachem again, she said, well said, Honorable. Thanks for the explanation. So we are so happy. We are so happy to have you today. And thanks so much for honoring our invitation, Your Honor. If you have any special greetings to family, friends, please, you can go ahead.
Thank you. Just to say to every family member that I wish you all well. We're all working to make Ghana a better place for all of us. And we want you, particularly those in the diaspora, also to obviously come home and contribute to your quota. to build this country. There's only one home, and for us, our home is in Ghana. We want this country to be very prosperous and very successful so that we can all live here and be very happy. I'm sure you live in other countries, other parts of the world, some good, some of the conditions are not very good, but in the end, hey, let's build our country. Ghana is good. It will be a good place for you and for me. So we thank you for the opportunity to hear me, and I'm sure another time I'll get a chance to speak to you again. Thank you.
Have a blessed evening. Yes. Thank you. Okay, lovely people. Thank you very much for sticking by. We appreciate all your contributions so much for staying with us to the end of the show. So now we'll play our theme song and then see you next week on another interesting episode of Africa in Retrospect. The name again is Grace and the channel is Full-Time Buzz. Don't forget to subscribe to our page on YouTube, follow us on Instagram, and so many other social networking platforms. Thank you so much. Have a blessed evening. Bye-bye. We play the song again.
The land is good, the land is fine. Gold we have, diamonds we mine. Yet we fight, we covered it all in blood. Tell me why we wallow in the mud. Africa, 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 yeah. Mama Africa, we cry for peace. Africa, the land is good, the land is fine. Gold we have, diamonds we mine. Yet we fight, we covered it all in blood. Tell me why we wallow in the mud. Africa, 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 yeah. Mama Africa, we cry for peace. Africa, 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 yeah. Mama Africa, we cry for peace. Africa, the summer got to give.